What's up, champs? In this video, I'm gonna share whether it's good or not to eat cheat meals for fat loss. And if you do decide to eat a cheat meal, I'm gonna share the right and the wrong way to go about doing it. Now, before we dive in, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Let's get to the action, baby. Now, if you haven't been living up underneath the rock for the past couple of years, you've heard of The Rock or Dwayne Johnson. You may know him back from his wrestling days, or do you smell what The Rock is cooking? Those were the days I knew The Rock. Those were my good old days, back when I think I was in my early teens, something like that. But you may also know him from just being an actor, or you may know The Rock from posting on Instagram. And he'll post his, crazy cheat meals where he'll eat, French toast, and you'll see him drizzle like syrup and jam. And you're like, how in the world does this guy eat foods like this and he's still ripped and jacked? Now, I know some folks, they'll say, well, he's probably enhanced. Whether he is or not, the guy's jacked. And hey, if you're getting paid as much as he is, he got some M's, some M&Ms. I'm probably sure he might be doing that, but it's probably worth it if he's gonna be making that kind of money. He has to be ready for the big screen. And so with that said, people wonder, is it possible for them to do the same thing? And to be honest, I used to be one of those people because I like eating good food. I like eating tacos. I like eating burgers. I like eating pancakes. Like, I could eat, if I could, I'd eat breakfast food all day, every day. And there's some times where I'll eat my breakfast in the evenings. I'm from down south, so I'll eat Waffle House and things like that from time to time. But one of the biggest things when it comes to cheat meals is it's done intentionally. Some guys, they just take off their diet. They just say, oh, I'm not gonna be on my diet this week, or I'm not gonna be on my diet today, or I'm not gonna be on my diet for the weekend. And that's the wrong approach to take, okay? Because those are the people who, they come off the weekend, they go into Monday, they step on the scale, and they're like, dang, I done gained 3 to 5 pounds because they just took off. You can't just take off. It's done strategically. And so I'm gonna show you how it's done, all right? Now, one of the biggest things with cheat meals is kind of, in a way, carb cycling. I've done a video on carb cycling. I'll put the link down in the description, and so you can go directly to it. But in a way, carb cycling is a way where you can eat cheat meals a couple of times a week, or maybe just one time a week, and you could still drop body fat, and you don't have to worry about gaining weight. And so here's how it works. It really comes down to how fast you want to hit your goals. Now, if you want to drop body fat quickly, then you may only want to have one cheat meal a week, or one cheat meal every other week. But if you're okay with dropping weight a little bit slower, slow and steady, you just got to know yourself. Then you can have up to 2, maybe 3 cheat meals out the week. But the reason I say carb cycling is, a big strategy that involves cheat meals is because it's not necessarily a day where you're eating just cheat meals all day, but on that day where you eat that one cheat meal, you can increase your daily calorie intake up to maintenance level. And so here's what I mean. Let's say just for you to maintain your current weight, you have to eat 2,000 calories, right? But on the days where you're in a calorie deficit, you're eating 1,500 or 1,600 calories. On the days where you're in that deficit, we're not gonna eat our cheat meals. We're gonna eat our cheat meals on the days where we bump our calorie intake up to maintenance. Because on those days, that cheat meal, normally cheat meals are pretty packed with calories and packed with carbs. And so you can eat one cheat meal and it could be 1,000, 1,200 calories, if not more. And so being aware of that, you gotta understand, okay, when I eat this cheat meal, I'm doing it strategically. I may do it on a Friday or Saturday when I'm gonna be out with my family, or when I might be out at the bar with my boys, or if I'm just going to hang out with the family or something like that at a family reunion, or whatever the case might be. Or let's say you're traveling for work and you're like, okay, well, I wanted to have my cheat meal on Saturday, but I'm going to this work meeting in the middle of the week. Well, let me just use this cheat meal for this day during the week when I'm traveling And so that way, you know, I'm probably gonna have some beers, I'm probably gonna have some alcohol, I'm probably gonna have, you know, some type of food that I wouldn't normally have because I'm traveling. And so that's one thing I tend to use too. Like whenever I'm traveling, I know I'm probably gonna eat a little bit more. And so I'll basically carb cycle. And so the days where I'm traveling, those would be my cheat meal days, you know, where I have, you know, 1 or 2 days during that travel time period where I'll eat a pizza or I'll eat a burger or with some French fries or something like that. And then when I get back, and even before I go on the trip, I'm pretty much dialed in with my diet. And so these are effective ways to be able to eat these cheat meals without having to worry about sabotaging your results. And it's a reason why a lot of people struggle with dropping body fat, guys. Like, it's hard. It's hard when it comes to dieting. You're eating less, you know, that's stressful on our body, whether you know it or not. And plus you're working out, that's stress on our body. It's not to say that it's really bad stress, but it's still stress. And so a lot of times people try to do these extremely restrictive diets where they cut back on carbs, they cut back on sugars, they severely cut back on calories. And yeah, they may lose some weight in the beginning, but they can't keep that up. They can't keep that habit up with being in such a severe calorie deficit, and they end up ballooning back up. They gain all the weight back. And so I feel like you should have a cheat meal every 1 to 2 weeks because, you know, you just feel better physically and mentally. You know, if you're just eating chicken and broccoli, you're selling your soul to chicken and broccoli, and you're never eating any other foods you really enjoy eating, you're isolating yourself from your family because, you know, you're trying to drop weight, but what's going to happen when you know, stop doing the diet and you go back to eating normally? Like, you go gain the weight back. And so instead, that's why I feel like everyone should have some type of level of carb cycling in their nutrition regimen. It doesn't have to be all the time, but you know, if you want to eat some foods that you enjoy eating, man, it's nothing wrong with doing that, and you can live a long and healthy life doing it. I believe there's research out there, and I've heard there's research out there where, you know, people who eat cheat meals, and I hate to say cheat meals, but you know, eat meals where they eat good food, they eat the foods they actually enjoy eating, and they're able to sustain the results long term because you're not thinking to yourself, dang, I really want to eat this pizza right here. Dang, I really want to eat some tacos this week. Man, I had a long and stressful day. I would really just love to be able to eat some French fries. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is real life. We not just being no fitness influencers out here trying to show our abs off. Like, we want to live a life that we can enjoy while looking good at the same time. And so, you know, you could eat these good foods, and so that way you're not just mentally stressed and you're like, dang, man, like all you can think about is just food, but you can't even eat the food that you want to eat. And so long term, I believe eating a cheat meal 1 to 2 days out the week, depending on how quickly you want to hit your goals, is the right way to go. And then lastly, guys, if I haven't hit on it already, I just want to really make sure that you understand, depending on how fast you want to hit your goals, that's how many cheat meals you're going to reward yourself with over the course of a week. So if I'm somebody, I want to drop body fat fast and cut quickly, then I may have 1 cheat meal that week. And so let's say, for example, I'm dropping body fat and I'm eating, you know, 1,500 calories throughout the week. And then that one day out the week, whether it's a Saturday or Sunday, I'll eat 1,800 calories or 2,000 calories. And that's why I have my cheat meal. Not a cheat day, a cheat meal. That's kind of like my refeed day, okay? And so that way I go back into the next week feeling good, feeling recharged, feeling refreshed. These are things I actually did when I was back in my days doing bodybuilding. And I'm like, man, I just ate a full meal at Five Guys. I remember just going to Five Guys, eating the double cheeseburger and the French fries, and I really just only had that meal with some breakfast earlier that day and maybe a protein shake, and that was it. Because that burger and French fries had so many calories in it, I really didn't need anything else. And this is around the time where, because I'm doing the bodybuilding competition, I had to be shredded. I'm talking about single-digit body fat. And so with that said, I had to be spot on, and I couldn't just eat garbage all the time. But when I did eat it, you know, I made it count. And so if nothing else, just understand it has to be strategic. You got to know, you know, what are your goals? How fast do you want to hit your goals? And then also just tracking how much you're consuming. That's probably the most important part when it comes to fat loss. You got to track and make sure you're not eating too much, even if you do eat a cheat meal. And so guys, with that being said, hopefully you found this helpful. Hit that like button. If you have any comments you want to share below, drop them down in the comments below. And then be sure to subscribe to the channel, baby. We out. Let's get to the action.